All right, hey y'all, guess what? The bases are loaded, baby. That's right. I am your host, LA, and you're coming at you live again right here in the ATL on a beautiful, I don't know what day of the week it is. Like Larry, I'm getting old, man. I guess they say the first thing to go is the mime. But I tell you what, folks, we've got a serious show for you. We're going to dedicate this show to, of course, our Black History Month, which I think is a little overrated. It should be Black History all the time because we haven't just went anywhere. We've been here a long time, and I don't think we're going anywhere, folks. We've got a lot of history. I'm going to get into some of it, and then, of course, during the broadcast as well, and talk to you more about some of the people that have made some amazing contributions to our livelihoods, and that's everybody, okay? Right now, we are normally doing what we normally do here. You know it. Like I said, I'm your host, and we do things on a 3U basis. That is unapologetic, unrelenting, and undeniable, and not necessarily in that order. All right? We're going to kick things off with talking about, guess what? Those you know. Whoo, baby. Whoo, my Giants. Oh, Lord, my Giants. Don't worry, Falcons fans. I'm going to talk about you guys in just a moment here, but I'm going to talk about the franchise tags and the franchise free agent. For those of you who are novice, Mike Lowry, I got to keep my audience because a friend of mine told me she definitely watched my show sometimes, but she doesn't know anything about sports, so I have to gear it towards her. I'm going to be fundamentally sound about that as well. Miss Derica, I'm mentioning your name. Don't be mad at me. She's an extraordinary teacher. She's really brilliant, and she brought that to my attention, and I'm thinking more or less of the many people that I'm hoping I'm touching and reaching you. I'm going to give you information that you can find informative and as well as entertaining, okay? Now, beginning with that, saying about these, of course, football giants, okay? Because the reason why I say the football giants, and you guys have, if you watch sports, sometimes you'll hear them refer to themselves as the football giants, meaning simply there's a baseball team out in San Francisco that's called the San Francisco Giants. So to differentiate between those two teams, they call them the football giants. And my football giants, yes, mine, yes, to my dismay, we are going through a lot of stuff with franchise tagging and free agency. Let me explain that to you for those of you who may not know. Franchise tag is really simply put in layman's terms. It just means that they are going to have a person that is a free agent, and then instead of signing them to a long-term deal, what they can do is put the franchise tag on them, meaning they can give them enough money to satisfy them for a number of years. 9 times out of 10 is always going to be a year. Right now, Saquon Barkley was franchise tagged last year. They're going to have to try and do that again because, of course, as you will know, if you've heard about what's going on, for those of you who don't know, running backs are now devalued, which I am really agitated about that myself. I'll get into it later on in broadcast, for future broadcast, because I myself was a running back / nickelback, which means I caught the ball as well out of the backfield. Okay, they're trying to devalue us, and guess what? You need us, because if you wasn't for us, well, you know what, folks? I said I wasn't going to do it. I'm not going to do it, okay? But Saquon Barkley, right now, we're trying to get you signed, my brother. We need you. He said he wants to remain a New York Giant, and I'm praying that happens. The Kansas City Chiefs, hey, Super Bowl champions, folks. KC Chiefs, they're having a little bit of problems with franchise tagging right now. They have a serious decision to make, okay? They've got Ladarius Sneed, who helped them, a serious cornerback. Okay, CB, for those who, you see the initials. He is of course, DB. Okay, that means defensive back. And he is up for a huge free agency signing. But they're thinking about tagging him along with Chris Jones, who I'm pretty sure we're going to see. For all you Chiefs Kingdom, send me a shout out. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think they should actually franchise tag and who they might actually let go? Chris Jones or Ladarius Sneed? That's the bulk of your defense. So let me know what you think, folks. That's a real big decision that those guys that are in the powers that be in the Chiefs, and of course in the Chiefs organization, they're going to have to make, okay? Right now, I cough because when we're talking about those Dallas Cowboys, I know we're not going to do a Stephen A. Smith. I love the Cowboys too, folks. I do. I love Cowboys. I love going out there and getting on those horses and riding those bulls. But the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know, folks. Okay, I'm still up in the air. Believe it or not, I grew up rooting for the Dallas Cowboys because my uncle was really, really close to, guess who? Tony Dorsett, who was my idol. Okay, and that's why he was the main reason why I started playing football and wanted to be a running back. But Dallas Cowboys have some woes right now under the new leadership and ownership of course, Jerry Jones. He is coming out with his culture. The culture? Would you call it culture, folks? Dallas Cowboy fans, I need you guys to chime in and let me know what you think about the culture of your team. What happens when you guys are sitting there and you're watching the television after you're hearing all these sports pundits talking about your tweets between your high volume players? I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to give them any fodder right now. But you know who they are, Dallas Cowboy fans. You know, their moms, their uncles, your daddies, your aunties, your grandmoms, your church, your deacons, your deaconesses are actually chiming in. And the mere fact that you guys are not happy with each other. So you guys better get it together because the season, you know, it's a short combine right now, just started. And you guys are probably going to have to get some free agency signs along with some tagging that's going on in your organization as well. So good luck to the Cowboys in their future. Let's hope they get it together because they are supposedly, of course, it's arguably right now America's team. But hey, we'll see how the America's team fares out in that situation. Let's talk about Justin Fields. All right, Atlanta native. Okay, of course he is from the Kennesaw area. Mr. Justin Fields, I think the Atlanta Falcons are calling you. I think they need you. Falcon fans, rise up. Okay, I need you guys to let me know what you think about that. Do you want Justin Fields here as a quarterback? I think it would be very promising, and I think it would be a great move for you considering his style of play fits into your West Coast offense from your offensive coordinator that you have going on right now. I think he would be blazing in that organization, along with your new head coach. And of course, in favor of Black History Month, this is the first time you've had a black coach in history. So kudos to that right there. Yeah, all right, let's go. Especially observing Black history. Yeah, Justin Fields will be a great fit, folks. Okay, I think for the Falcons, it's going to not only unify the city even more, it's going to galvanize you guys, of course, making the playoffs somewhat. So, of course, you guys have been missing the playoffs as of late. So signing him is going to make one or other players want to play with him. They're going to surround him with the love that you guys need to comprise and compartmentalize a great football team. The mechanisms of a good football team is, guess what, folks? It starts in the locker room, ladies, where you guys have often been forbidden, but you know, hey, that's all right. They start to let you ladies in the locker rooms. That's another subject for another time. All right. Speaking of another time, Eric Bieniemy. Marginalized, I think ostracized. What do you folks think? Folks, if you know about Eric Bieniemy, he was just, I'm going to use his eloquence, he said that he did not get fired by the Washington Commanders and their head coach now, which of course is ironically Dan Quinn, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys and of course the Atlanta Falcons. I thought he came in and cleaned a little bit of house, but of course, to some of the Commanders and some of the other players' chagrin, of course, he actually didn't, assume the positions of some of his, of course, position coaches. Eric Bieniemy, who has been long soft, of course, I think he actually is probably interviewed for about 11 teams, folks, to become a head football coach in the NFL. Why he hasn't been given that opportunity? Some would argue that there's something wrong. There's something internally wrong with that situation because he has definitely earned the right to be a head coach. He's a 2-time Super Bowl winner. He was up for the Heisman Trophy winner, when he was in college at the University of Colorado. Would you believe he is now taking a job with UCLA, the UCLA Bruins, to be their head football coach? Of course, he is a California native. He said it's promising. He just signed a 2-year deal. Let me know what you think about that, folks. Should Eric Bieniemy, was he ousted? Was he, was a collaboration, or do you think it was a situation where he just could not convince a owner or the team's owner to, of course, allow him, the GMs, to allow him to be a head coach of a major NFL organization? Let me know what you think about that. I would love to hear feedback on that, okay? Now, with the Panthers, let's go to the Panthers, folks. I laughed when I heard this one, folks. I don't know how many of you South Carolina, well, you know what? I can't say South because they're in the North. We're gonna call them the Carolina Panthers. They have had a tumultuous existence since they were an expansion team, led to the Super Bowl by, of course, Atlanta native Cam Newton. They have gone down ever since, folks. They barely may have made the playoffs at least only one more time since that Super Bowl appearance. They have been on the decline. Would you have the actual gumption to believe that just yesterday they announced that they're going to increase their ticket sales by 4%? Panther Nation, let me know what you think about that. You guys are struggling as is. Now you're going to be struggling to actually watch the games in person because they're raising your ticket prices. I don't think that's a good idea, but I tell you what, I'd rather hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. And if you guys need a petition to get those of course, those tickets lowered, let me know that too. We'll start it. I'll help you guys band together. Okay. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Panther Nation, get ready. All right, now, in the NBA. Woo, my Knicks, baby. My Knicks. My Knicks are doing pretty good. We're in second, well, we're actually in third place. We were in second place, of course, under the Boston Celtics, and we're going back and forth between us and the Milwaukee Bucks. But the other night, we had a nice little showing after a loss. Of course, we won that game against the Pistons. It was kind of a little bit of controversy in it. Like I said, we're going to talk about some controversial subjects and how I feel that the refs, should they be allowed to actually overturn a game because they actually helped, of course, the Knicks beat the Pistons the other night with a foul that was very egregious. I mean, the guy actually lunged at his DiVincenzo, he lunged at the guy's legs, and they didn't even call it, and they actually got the ball back, and then they got called a foul. So it was really, really rough. But my Knicks lost last night to, of course, the Pelicans, but that's okay. We're going to redeem ourselves tonight at 6:35. Okay, so we'll be happy about that. Jalen Brunson did not play last night. He's got a sore ligament right now, so hopefully he'll be back. I'm praying for him. Speaking of praying for the Atlanta Hawks, you guys, what's up with your season? I know to your dismay, we're praying for, of course, Trae Young. Trae Young is going to be out for at least 4 weeks with hand surgery. I need to know, you guys, the Atlanta Hawks are talking about trading him. Hawks Nation, let me ask you, can you afford to do that? And who would you trade him for? Trae Young is probably about 35% of your offense. Okay, and he is some of the reason why you guys your ticket sales are better than they have been in a while, because he is a show. He made the All-Star appearance again for the third time. I don't know if you guys really can. That's ill-advised to actually even the rumor, because I know when I was playing ball, if you rumor trading a player or getting that they tend to take that a little personal, and kind of might want to sit out a little bit. That hand injury might take a little longer than normal to heal, folks, if you get my drift. Come on, Atlanta Hawks, stop hawking around. You need this guy. This guy's like I said, he is a formidable player, and he makes all the other players around him better. So, you guys you're having a losing season right now, but it's just half of the season. So you guys can turn it around. And Trae Young would definitely be a major, major part of that. So you might want to reconsider that, making that rumor mill, and that stop that now. Stop it. Come on. Mike Lowry, what's up with these Hawks? Okay. Also, the what in the world, in the wide world of sports, is going on with Scottie Pippen? Scottie, I met you a long time ago, and I enjoyed our conversation. I know you don't remember it, but we'll talk about it another time. Scottie, leave Mike alone. You starting to me, and you folks let me know. I need your comments on this one, folks. I tell you, we're going to talk about some controversial subjects. I'm not going to comment on all the stuff prior to what he said last night. or a couple of days ago, whenever it totally was. But either way, be that as it may, it wasn't that good of a conversation. He gave a backhanded GOAT conversation when he was actually on NBA Live about the fact that, yeah, Michael's the GOAT, but he had a semicolon there. He had a, however, but he had a supporting cast, which all greats have a supporting cast. I mean, Tom Brady, who's been labeled the GOAT, he can't throw the ball and run down the field and catch it, okay? But he led. He's a leader. Michael Jordan was a leader, regardless of whether you think he was a great leader. My grandfather taught me that. He said, son, guess what? You know the definition of a leader is? One who's followed. Now, Hitler was a great leader. Doesn't mean he was a great person. Wouldn't a lot of people out there agree on that faction? I can agree to that. But Scottie, Pippen, come on, man. You starting to look like my man G Money. You hurt me, man. You hurt me. You made me fly out of spirals. Okay? Are you your brother's keeper? Come on, Scottie. Come on, bro. You got your daughter, and your daughter's doing great. You got good things going for you. Come on, my man. You and Jordan kiss and make up. You guys did a great thing. You did something that few other basketball players, few other sports players in history did, okay? You repeated 2 times, 3-peats. That's amazing in and of itself. Come on, guys. Grow up, man. You're giving new meaning to my old statement. You don't grow up, you just get bigger. Come on, Scottie. You and Jordan kiss and make up. And Jordan, you and Barkley need to make up too. I'm mad at you too for doing all this crazy stuff that you've been doing as of late. All right. Now. Hey, are you liking The Bases Are Loaded? Do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button and tell some more people about me. It keeps me coming and keeps you happy and keeps me smiling. Thank you. Let's go to the NCAA. All right. NCAA March Madness. Yes, sir. March Madness. The road to the Final Four. And where's my buddy Charles Barkley? Says you guys go get ready. Okay. Shout outs to the Final Four. We're actually getting geared up, folks. It's almost March Madness tomorrow. Well, we got another day or two before it'll be the March. And then the Ides of March was in the middle of March, 15th of Shakespearean term, the Ides of March. We'll start up that good old tournament. Those 68 teams will be competing. Now, is your team going to be there? I know my Florida State Seminoles, we are struggling a bit from time to time, but we beat those Wolfpack last night. We sure did. Yes, we did. That was a good scoring game between the Wolfpack. They were surprised at that upset. Okay, they weren't expecting that. But we're pretty tough at home. Leonard Hamilton has a nose, playing really, really confident at home. He's got a very new team, and he's got some big 7-footers coming because Leonard Hamilton likes for everybody that goes through the door, he likes for them to have to bend down. He's had the tallest teams in NAAC, of course, in the National, of course, College Association. He's had the largest team, meaning his teams average 6'7", okay? 6'7" feet, folks. That's normally, back in my day, that was a center. He's got guards that are that tall. So he loves those trees. He loves those giants coming. And then he's got a good team coming. And we got something to look forward to. But we also those North Carolina, of course, Wolfpack last night. We got them. And of course the score was 90-83. And that sent a message to the ACC that, of course, to go through, to make it to that national tournament. Of course, that ACC tournament, you're going to have to go through FSU, baby. We're going to be there regardless if we don't make the big dance or not. So, but we still have hope, folks. We still have hope. All right, Knowles Nation, let's go, baby. Hey, you know that. Now, right now, the Jared Lucas. Oh, my goodness. Jared Lucas, kudos. Woo. Folks, the young man shot the ball for Nevada. He was about 10 feet from the half-court line when he shot that ball and stunned Colorado State last night, 77-74. That was not cool, okay? I can assure you for that. That was something they probably will not remember favorably for a long time. Now, let's get to a little bit of controversy here, folks. And you've heard it talked about. And I'm waiting to hear what the NCAA is going to do about it. And that is, yes, storming, court storming. For those of you who don't know what court storming is, a lot of times when a formidable opponent goes down by a team that probably was not expecting to know that they could beat that team, it's an upset. Now, I'm going to share with you what upset, where that term comes from. You guys will love it. The term is upset. That means the team is not supposed to lose, actually lose, and they lose favorably. Well, the fans, 9 times out of 10 student body, because they hardly ever do it in the NBA because they got so much security. And, you're dealing with these multi-millionaires. They're going to have some serious security. Some of them have their own security details. They're not going to go out there because you could get actually hurt because they don't have any obligation to your bodily harm. But at a student event, which is 9 times out of 10, what happened with Jon Scheyer. Jon Scheyer is the head coach of the Duke Blue Devils. As you well know, Mike Krzyzewski just retired just a couple of years ago, and one of his former players, he had him to take over the reins. And the other night, while the game was going on, a team actually beat them, and they actually court stormed, and one of his key players, Kyle Filipowski, actually was injured doing that, and he was livid about that. So he went on a campaign. So I want to know what you guys think about court storming. Do you think they should ban it? Because what is it going to do? Is it going to stop just because they're saying banning it? Or what is the NCAA going to put in place to keep it from happening? Because that's a lot of people to control. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And it's been a tradition. So, and customarily, it's not, I don't, to my recollection, there hadn't been that many players actually hurt. So just let me know what you think about it. I think it's cool. I think it's something to behold, actually, especially when a school hasn't won against a team. That team hadn't beat Duke in a long, long, long time, folks. So let me know what you think about that in the comments, and we'll go from there. I just love to hear about it. The other one is the handshake line. And this is me. This is coming from me, LA, okay? Handshake line. I played sports, and I love the camaraderie of sports, but there's a lot of trash talking in sports, folks. And the NBA doesn't have a handshake line, okay? College still does. Well, let me know what you think about that. Do you think the handshake line should be banned? They should stop it because it leaves way to what happened with that brawl that we talked about earlier on the broadcast up in the year about these young men having to stand there after they just got to talking much smack to each other for the last 40 minutes. And now they've got to go, especially if the team has just beat you, and you got to go there and you have to use a word that is very uncommon amongst someone who plays the sport, and that's called sportsmanship, okay? You got to go and stand in the line and actually shake a man's hand who just told you and talked about your mama, okay? I don't think that's going to happen too many times. It's going to be favorable. So let me know what you think about it. I, myself, personally, I think that's putting a lot of pressure on the young men, okay? But let me know what you think. Comment. Let me know your feedback. I'd love to hear about it, okay? And I'm looking forward to hearing and knowing about it, okay? I definitely think that that's a subject that needs a lot of attention, all right? All right, let's shift gears. Here we go. Major League Baseball. Spring. My Yankees. Y'all's Braves. Spring training is underway. You Braves have won a couple games, and you're starting to pick it up. You got some new pitchers that are coming out that you're going to be excited about. You guys have a strong bullpen this year, and you're going to be formidable again. So, hey, the ALCS along with the of course, the other leagues and minor leagues, you guys get ready. Right now, spring is underway. But here's the crazy part, folks. There are still a lot of free agents, and I'm going to say some names that you might have heard, okay? Cody Bellinger, Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, and J.D. Martinez. All of these are high-quality baseball players that are not signed because they're free agents. Now, like I told you folks before, the franchise tag, okay? Free agent. Free agency just means a man who or a woman who is a free agent is playing sports just means they don't have a contract. They don't have a contractual obligation to any team. So they can, one, be traded, or they can sign the franchise tag, which a lot of them don't like because they lose money when they do that, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a short-term contract, and they're going to want them to play their all for another team to actually possibly invoke injury, whatever the case may be. Free agency sometimes hurts the player, and when they actually, of course, are franchised, tagged. Okay, so that's what, when you hear those terms and you hear those little terms out there, that's where the of course the mix-up comes along with it, if you're not aware of it. But right now, those players are all, every one of those players have won a World Series. They all have a ring. Why are they not signed? They're still young. They're still amazing players. That's where the free agency comes in, when that's where that franchise tag, and that's where the disagreements start to happen with their actual agents, okay, who represent them to try and get them and maximize them on their contracts and their money, folks. That's what it really boils down to. It's about the money, okay? This is, yes, it's entertainment, but what is entertainment involving? Money, okay? Let me know what you think about that, folks. Let me know if you think about free agency, has it changed the game? Now, of course, it did change the game, but let me know what you think about it in the comments, and tell me how you feel about all of these players that are not actually signed to a great team right now. I'm pretty sure each one of the Major League Baseball players, teams, all 36 of them, all 37 of them, would be glad to have either one of these players, okay? Why they're not, I have no idea. Shohei Ohtani, congratulations, sir. Largest contract in history, $725 million. He actually he's making so much money, folks, he decided he was going to take part of that, okay? So he could actually keep the team out of that franchise tag that I just got finished telling you, for some of the greater players that he wants to be on the team so they can have a great season and compete for, guess what? The Dodgers don't play just for great seasons. They had the second highest win percentage last year, but they could care less about that if they don't win the World Series, okay? I'm pretty sure my Yankees and a couple of other teams, your Atlanta Braves, hey, the Atlanta Braves, it's major, it is World Series or bust, okay? Because you guys have had a taste of what it is to get those rings. Winning the pennant is great, but winning the World Series is all that. That is the I Ching, folks, okay? And Shohei Ohtani is now left the Angels for $725 million to go across town to play for the Dodgers, the LA Dodgers, which my man is one of the minority owners is Magic Johnson. All right? Kudos to Magic. He knows where to go where the money is, definitely. And he hit in his debut after coming off of Tommy John surgery. That's where they take your elbow and they take part of the ligaments from it and take it out of your shoulder, and they make it to where you can actually throw that ball, folks. Because guess what? He is a major league pitcher as well. And he almost led by only 2 home runs last year, leading the, of course, baseball community, Major League Baseball, in home runs. The only person that ever did that before was Babe Ruth, okay? That's amazing. He's a pitcher. Pitchers, 9 times out of 10, they're not that good at hitters. If you don't believe it, watch Major League Baseball. You'll see a hitter just gets over there and he just swings, because they have to sometimes. They have to. American League, the pitchers do not bat. In the National League, they do. So when the Yankees come to town to play of course, the Atlanta Falcons. I said Falcons, excuse me. I'm looking at Falcons. Falcons, you guys are really, you're in my brain right now. When they come to play the Atlanta Braves, the pitcher has to actually go up at bat. He cannot, of course, reserve batting, okay? So Shohei Ohtani is leading right now. He's a triple threat because he can run as well. So not only can he run, hit, but he also will strike you out. There was one game where he had all the points, folks. He had all the strikeouts, and he had all the points. So, yeah, he's probably worth that $25 million that he got, plus probably more, some would argue, all right? So, right now, the Yankees and the Rays are going to play, of course, probably tomorrow night. Actually, the Yankees and the Marlins are going to play tomorrow night at 6:30. And a little controversy. Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, Pete Rose. These were all amazing players. They set records. Why are they not in the Hall of Fame? Let me know in your comments if you think it's time for those guys to go. Of course, we know about Barry Bonds. We know about Clemens. It was to, of course, our dismay, they ended up admitting to using enhancing drugs, steroids. But a lot of players do, folks. And one would argue it's not cheating if everybody's doing it, but it is cheating the game, okay? Because you're getting a one-up on something. But it's not that big of a our society has forgiven for a lot worse. Let me know in the comments if you think those guys should be inducted into the Hall of Fame because they're waiting and they're deserving to me. Now, if you want to put an asterisk by it, have at it. But they belong in Cooperstown. They really do. For what they gave to the game, you found that out pretty much after the end of their careers. What they gave to the game wasn't that much of a margin. Give those guys a chance. Now, of course, Pete Rose, yes, we know he gambled. But good Lord, folks, it's been 30-something odd years ago. Aren't we supposed to be a forgiving nation? We've forgiven nations that did stuff to us. Come on, these are very, very notable players. Give them a chance to go in Cooperstown. Like I said, my opinion, put an asterisk by their names if you like. Paint them red, colors, I don't care. But those guys belong in Cooperstown because you can't say those names without recognizing that that's baseball. Okay? That in and of itself garners you to be able to be in that Hall of Fame. Okay? Now, with that said, hey, tennis! Tell you folks, we cover all the bases. We cover the bases of sports here. Coco Golf. Coco! Woo! Your mama and your dad is Atlanta natives. What's up? But hey, folks, she's been doing really, really well. She's ranked number 4 in the country. She's ranked number 4 in tennis. That's a major feat for a young girl her age. And she's still doing well. She got beat by, of course, Kalinskaya the other night. But that's okay. She made it into she's making it pretty much into the prelims of all of her, of course, her matches, which is amazing. And then, of course, she was on a 12-game win streak. So that was pretty much amazing. And of course, after winning the U.S. Open, we're still so proud of her, okay? And Frances Tiafoe, and we're going to touch on this a little bit. Frances Tiafoe is a young black player that actually is American. He's got Haitian descent. Mr. Tiafoe says that tennis the other night, and he's going to be playing in the Dubai Open, actually coming up pretty soon. He's still actually in there. He's actually, I think he's ranked number 10 in the world, which is it's great because that's based on 1,000 players, folks. For you to get that high, that means you're playing well. And it's just like golf. You're ranked by your winnings, your earnings, how much money you're making, okay? That's how they rank you. Frances Tiafoe had the nerve. Now, and I do mean, I'm gonna bridge it a little bit. He had the temerity to say on national TV that tennis is the hardest sport in the world. Now, to my surprise, he said that yesterday. So my surprise today, I caught a glimpse of Mad Dog Chris Caruso on First Take, who ironically stood up there and gave his top 5 of the hardest sports in the world. I'm going to share it with you. And I want you to comment. Please send me your comment and tell me what you think about it. It was kind of laughable to me because Stephen A. Smith and some of the other guys on the show, Molly Quam, they were giving him a hard time about this list. Listen to this list. Would you believe he put number 5, my sport, as the lowest one out of the 5? He said football. Okay? Football is the least hardest to play on his list with his little skinny behind. I would love to see him go out there and actually allow, even just in high school, some of those 300-pound linebackers and middle and of course defensive tackles to actually fall on him. Just fall on him, let alone tackle him, folks. Okay? That's another crazy gesture. Okay? He said number 4. Now this is going to be, folks, please look this up if you haven't heard of this sport. He said that curling Curling was his number 4 hardest sport, folks. Curling is now a part of the U.S. Olympics. Okay, not the U.S. Olympics, the World Olympics now. I don't know what I don't know what the puck is made of, but it weighs probably about 25 pounds. You got a guy that's sitting there and he's sweeping the ice, and it's got to go to a certain area. He said that's one of the hardest sports it is to play, folks. Number 3, I kind of agree with him. I do coach this sport myself, and I do play when I can. Lord knows I can't do it as much as I used to because I'm getting older. Father time is no joke. But tennis is number 3 on his list. Tennis is a hard sport because you are out there playing on yourself. I don't agree with Tiafo when he says it's the hardest sport in the world. Okay, and I definitely don't agree with that at all. Okay, number 2, I kind of go back and forth with this. I vacillate between the two. He said golf. Now I've played golf, folks. I don't know if you've ever got your irons out there. You got your woods. Golf is not an easy sport. It is not an easy sport to play. You definitely have to have lessons. Just like I tell people, if they want to play tennis on a better level, you definitely have to get lessons. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, golf is even harder because you cannot just pick up a golf club and go and swing it and make that ball go straight. I can assure you of that. So I was agreeing with him when he said that the golf was one of the toughest sports. And then he said number 1, of course, is baseball. That's subjective. I played baseball. It is hard to hit that ball, folks. Okay, that bat is only about maybe 3 to 4 inches wide at the best part of it. Okay, and you got a man that's standing there, or a woman. Okay, we're not gonna leave out the women because you guys play softball too. But he said baseball because it's fast pitch. He's throwing that ball from 60 feet out at a rate. Most pitchers, MLB pitchers, are pitching at a rate of 85 to 90 miles per hour. It's hard to almost even see that ball, let alone hit it. Okay, so I'm kind of tending to lean a little bit. I don't think it's the hardest sport. Myself, I think football is the hardest sport because you're having to stop another man who is strong and just as strong or just as fast as you. When you're playing those other sports, you're actually, you're more inclined with your body muscle memory with the actual ball. You have to have hand-eye coordination when you're playing tennis because tennis is no joke. It is much faster, folks. To me, another sport which they didn't mention, I think hockey. Hockey doesn't get its due. Oh my goodness. If you've been to a hockey game, if you really want to see some excitement, because television definitely slows it down. Oh my goodness. Those men are going about 45, 50 miles per hour on ice. And they have a 4-inch puck that is only 2 centimeters, about 2 centimeters thick. Okay? That's probably, to me, one of the hardest sports, if not the hardest to play, because you're slamming into another man on that bad boy too, folks. Keep that in mind. So, like I said, comment. Let me know what you think is. I'd love to know what you guys think, which is the hardest sport. Okay? I definitely welcome your feedback. I definitely do. Hello, and thank you for watching Bases Are Loaded. This show is brought to you by Hot and Saucy. Flavor over heat. Now, with all that said, I just want to go back to what I said. I was dedicating the show today to Black history. And with that, folks, I want to share with you some of the folks out there that have contributed to society, that have contributed to this world, to even some people's, especially in our community, because guess what? I am Black. Oh, yeah, I'm a Black man. But it's amazing when you learn whom has contributed to certain things that you use every day, and you didn't know that it was someone who looks like you that possibly did it. So I'm going to share some of this with you. All right. George Crumb in 1853. Mike Lowry. Would you believe he accidentally, folks, created a potato chip? In his restaurant, the guys were complaining about the potato being too thick. So he went back there and he sliced it razor thin, and it became an instant hit. Thank you. So tell Herman J. Lay next time, of course, hey, we're really happy that he just couldn't eat just one. Okay. Fred McKinley Jones. He created something that I don't think none of us can live without, folks. That's a refrigerator, 1930. And other patents on refrigerations, including refrigerated cars on trains. Helps you keep food, guess what? Preserved. Okay? Granville T. Woods, he created the telegraph machine, which of course it went on to become probably the telephone. What it did is it helped those guys communicate between the trains. That way they would know where a train was. Because there's a lot of train railroads out there, folks. And if you don't have any communication, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to run into each other eventually. It's like air traffic control. Speaking of that, George Washington Carver, folks, we don't have to go there. I mean, that's just, come on. That man, what he did for, which is amazing, that George Washington Carver was actually friends with, of course, Henry Ford. And he created so many patents from, watch this, the peanut and a sweet potato. Over 520 some odd products were developed from these two amazing things that he discovered and created and made. Not only peanut butter, okay? Come on. But watch this. Ink, dye, soap, flour, vinegar, synthetic rubber. He's amazing. Over 500 patents actually over 800 patents on products and services that we use every day and we take for granted. George Washington Carver, folks. Absolutely. All right. Lisa Jablotter. She was the inventor of the bid emoji. So when you guys are sitting there with your bid, your phones, and you're sitting out sending those emojis and those GIFs, those GIFs, guess what? That's Lisa. She is a black woman. Okay? Keep that in mind. Madam C.J. Walker, I bet some of you heard of her. She basically was the amazing woman who many women are thankful throughout this world. It doesn't matter whether you're black or what color you are. This woman was responsible. She's the first black woman millionaire, of course, in 1905. She developed her own hair products and cosmetics. Okay, Garrett Morgan, traffic light and gas mask in 1922. Alexander Miles, he actually developed the elevator, but he actually wanted it to be to the point to where it would actually close without you having to actually pull it up with a crane or a pulley. Percy Lavon Julian, he created steroids to help sex hormones. So basically, he helped create things to enhance people that want more kids. That was a blessing for a lot of people. All right, that's a black man, folks. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner. She, for you ladies, maxi pads and shower caddy. Okay, I use shower caddy. I know I do. Thank you, Miss Kenner. Marie Van Britten Brown. Did you know that she created the home security system, folks? Home security system. Shirley Jackson, first woman to graduate, first black woman to graduate MIT. Amazing lady. Folks, she developed caller ID and touch tone phones. Amazing information, isn't it? I know it. Mark Dean, personal computer from IBM. And, of course, the color monitor. What I'm using right here behind me, right here. That was done by someone that looks like me. It's something to be proud of and be, of course, to behold. Lonnie Johnson, while working for the jet propulsion part of NASA, he created the Super Soaker, folks. That's that gun that your kids, if you have your grandkids and your nieces and nephews, they have to have around Christmas, developed by him. So these are some contributions of folks that actually just did some amazing things. And like I said before, folks, Black History Month, it should not stop. And no, it's not done because it was the shortest month of the year. It's done to relegate and to celebrate Frederick Douglass because he was born in February. So let's dispel that rumor, okay? But folks, we should keep it going all the time because yes, my show is geared towards sports and entertainment, but a lot of it is Black people. And our contributions are amazing to this society that we live in. Don't forget that. Be proud. I'm Black and I'm proud, and I am. And with that, folks, I'm going to say the bases are always loaded, and I am going to see you next time. Until then, shout outs to my friends that are a little ill right now. My boy Mike D, I'm glad you're getting well. My Uncle JW, man, I love you. I'm so glad you guys are getting better. And with that, you guys have a great, great rest of the week. I'll see you next time on The Bases Are Loaded, baby.